start. Landon and I, we broke up. He was abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally, you name it. Our entire relationship.
And he unattractive.
He's admitted to.
I want to be truthful. I want to be honest. Definitely was.
That's a joke.
I honestly wanted to get out of that relationship. Turns out she knew exactly what was going on. We sat down. She didn't even look at the paperwork that I pulled. None of it. Landon sat there next to her. She said, "Don't you think he deserves to leave with something?"
What do you think about it? People should lift each other up, not bring them down.
Where am I going to take my kid? Like, trying to figure it out. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Just crying. No one will believe me.
They sure won't. Because Ace Family. Hey, Ace Family. Pull up. All right. We'll be right back.
Fill the room with the juice. That's a lot of loot. That bit fire. Yeah, she kinda cute.
Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have no makeup on right now, which is because if it was me and I was in your shoes, I would be like, am I really watching an hour-long reaction video right now? Like, I need some more value. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do my makeup from start to finish. If you are brand new here and you are not aware of who I am, hello, I am Pearl. And in some of my older videos, I did used to like not wear makeup. I would do my makeup during the video. I would eat in my video. I would just do all these different kind of things to kind of keep reaction engaged and a little bit more different or original, if you will, compared to other people. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And let me just tell you guys, so before I sat on this freaking floor and gathered all of my makeup out of the bathroom and put it on this counter, I was thinking, why are we watching, you know, her video? Like, let's watch Landon McBroom's first, right? And then it dawned on me, why am I caring about any sort of sympathy for this man? And then I remembered, I was like, right, he was sick, right? So then after that, I think, wait, but then why would he do this video 1 month ago and then she's doing it now? So as you know me, I went straight to those comments and look, dude, just accept that you did her dirty. I was like, oh, well, goodness, I haven't seen Landon's video. So we're definitely gonna have to watch it after this one. Oof, because these comments are painful. Someone said, nah, Def had to unsubscribe. As a mother, I felt for Shyla. I was like, okay. So with that being said, let's hop into this reaction, see what's going on. His views are looking like 1.6 mil. His uplikes are 66K. His dislikes are 15K. And you hop over to Shyla's, we are at 178K uplikes and 1.9K dislikes at pretty much 2 mil, 1.9 million views right now. So right now, looking at the comments, it's definitely looking like this is gonna be a sad video. So hop in this. If you are curious on any products that I'm using or what I put on my lips or my eyebrows or whatever have you, just put them down in the comment section. I'll make sure to tell you what the products are. Let's do it that way. Keep it a little easier on us here. Now let me get this pulled up. This girl said the truth. I thought it was so funny how some of y'all were like, who? Because really though, like, let me be honest, like there are some people that just do not know who these people are. And if you are just completely lost on the McBrooms, I will link some videos on my thoughts of the Ace family in particular and older videos that I've done on them before. However, I just kind of stopped because it was just like, why am I talking about these people? Like, clearly they are...
Support the Ace family or whatever, but can you explain why Austin slapped his little girl's butt and saying, oh God, after? Listen, it's weird. I'm gonna be honest, it's weird,
so
especially the way he said,
like,
oh God.
I can't. Anyways. Tell us, girl. 49 minutes. Hopefully my makeup will be done in 30. We'll see though.
Okay, this is my second and my final attempt to film this.
Second and final, okay.
I'm literally filming it on my phone right now. My camera battery died and I just want to move on. I don't want to be associated anymore.
Girl.
I don't want this anymore. I just want to move on and continue to be happy with my daughter, and that's all I want. Let's start. Landon and I, we broke up. He was abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally, you name it. Our entire relationship.
And he unattractive.
He's admitted to.
I want to be truthful. I want to be honest. Definitely more toxic.
I said that at the wrong time. I'm sorry.
Sometimes verbally. abusive to you?
I honestly wanted to get out of that relationship when, you know, right before he got diagnosed with cancer. I wanted to get out of that relationship. I just knew it wasn't good. I stayed because I thought that was, you know, going to be his second chance at life, and he was going to be a new person. And previous to cancer, he was not there for me. He didn't really take care of our child for a long time. He just wasn't the father that I expected him to be in another partner. So I was looking at places and I was ready to go. I have a text message from literally the day after our daughter was born. She was born on the 19th. I was still in the hospital and he had left, and he was gone for hours. Hours upon hours upon hours. I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? Where are you? Where are you? You know, and he basically says, like, I told you I'm coming back later, you know, and I was like, I had a C-section. I couldn't even get out of bed. I physically needed someone to help me to be able to get to the baby and feed the baby. And that's when I realized, like, okay, he's not going to be that person for me.
Right.
So he gets diagnosed with cancer. I'm taking care of him independently while caring for a newborn independently.
Straight caregiver.
At my breaking point, I was a single mother in a relationship, and I was carrying all the weight around previous to him getting sick. I was doing everything from 100% baby to most of the work, handling all the bills, all the finances, doing all the housework, all the laundry, everything for the dogs. And it was during like the beginning of COVID, so it was a really hard time for me. I'm gonna be honest, I was a bit resentful, and I was starting to really dislike him as a person. During cancer, he was not understanding at all. I don't know if I could expect him to be understanding, but he wasn't understanding. He wasn't nice to me. He continued to be abusive during his cancer treatments.
How do you do
So for context, the hospital wanted him to have some sort of independence. His doctor would say that because he was very lazy before. So his doctor was like, you can't be lazy, you need to like work. So I didn't expect him to go like on a full workout or hike, but I would lay his pills out for him for the entire week, and I would leave them in the kitchen, and his only job was to walk to the kitchen and get his pills. He would manipulate me after. He would be mean to me and abuse me and hurt me. He would basically say like, oh, it's because I have cancer. And it would work. It would guilt trip me back in, and I would think like, he's going through like things, like it's okay if he like.
Did I not say it? I was like, I feel some sympathy.
It's not okay at all. 100% not okay.
It's not okay to do that.
Cancer. He was sick. He had a cancer that developed from not treating like pneumonia or something like that. So yes, it was cancer. No, he was not going to die from it. Almost 100% of it was gone after the first chemotherapy. So he was rapidly getting better. Once I realized that cancer wasn't going to really change him or didn't change him at all, he more so enjoyed the attention that cancer brought him.
Girl, I bet.
I was like, okay,
I can see that.
This is not what I wish I would have left. Like, I don't think this is like the Howling experience. To be honest, I was growing resentful because I waited for you to get better and you were able to like basically live a normal life. And you were still choosing like to not be there for me and not help me with our child. And so this text, I'm like, I don't understand how I do more than you with everything. And I already have to ask for like little things, blah, blah. And I'm just like, once you're well, like 100%, I need 50% of a partner. I've been carrying this weight for so long by myself. I was just like, I felt like I'd been more than fair and I'd let you heal and I'd been there, but like, I was doing it all by myself.
Can we talk about how he got you though?
Before we knew he had cancer, I said I was losing my mind. Like,
you were fine.
He would only watch her in the morning. If I would wake him up too early, he'd say, no, it's too early. Like, I'm going back to sleep. And I didn't understand how like wrong that was.
Absolutely.
I didn't understand why I'd have to ask to like shower. It just kind of continued on like that, and I was like, you know what, I need to leave. Like, he's not a good partner to me. He's not being a good father. Like, I need to go. And so I said, I'm going to stay at my mom's. For him to say that he felt the situation was worse than cancer, I don't think that's respectful, nor I don't think that's fitting, first of all. I think he had a pretty amazing cancer experience. He had the best doctor in the country. He had every single thing taken care of. He didn't have to worry about one single thing. And he was told 100% that he was going to live. I think that's pretty good experience for what cancer can really do to some people.
Yeah.
Fast forward to our breakup. He would never tell me directly that we were breaking up. He would try to keep me
Because he knows he can't get someone like you, girl.
He would say like,
Come
oh,
on
I'm
now.
just going through things.
Come on now.
I just need my space, things like that. Or I'm going to really focus on my boxing career. But the night that I really understood that it was over is when I just, really quick, I want to say one of the biggest, most influential things in my healing has been educating myself. I have so many moments now when I'm like reading a book that I really have been reading is about narcissists. It's called Why Does He Do That? And it's connected so many dots for me. I've had so many like, oh, that makes sense moments. Now, I knew the word narcissist, but I didn't know really
when
what
you live it
was.
It's crazy.
It's
oh my
now
God.
I can look back, realize that like it all makes sense now.
And you're just like, bro, everything makes so much sense.
Everything really confusing. They'll never just tell you straight up. They really want to confuse you and lead you on, and they want that control over you. They want you to rack your brain and try to figure out the situation.
It's crazy.
And they want it to seem random and uncalculated. But the truth is, if you look at it, 9 times out of 10, it's calculated. They
so
do this
calculated.
intentionally. I knew our relationship was toxic, and I knew he was not good for me, but I had spent my entire adult life with this man. I had started a family with him.
See that?
I wanted to have a family for my daughter. I wanted things I went after. I wanted a family. I never grew up with that, and I wanted that for her so badly.
Aww.
And so I held on for that, and I thought, okay, like he's just maybe going through something.
Yeah.
But I knew it was coming to an end when he let me know, like, there was one day in particular, and I was crying and I was really upset, and I said, like, what are we doing? Are we gonna be together? Like, I don't understand. And he was like, well, I want to do whatever like the F I want to do. These are his words. I want to do whatever the F I want to do. I want to live like my brother. I want to be like my brother.
First of all,
point, I was like,
you're not even on his attractive level. Like, let's be honest. You're not even there, baby.
Probably not going to work out from here on out. So the very same night, so
you want to be like Austin.
I was just crying. Like, I felt my heart was broken. I felt like I lost everything I know. I was losing my family. I was losing, the closest person to me. I felt like he was my best friend. I was really upset that day, and he came over to me. I was sitting on the bed. He was sitting across from me, and he came over, and he began hugging me and kissing me and saying, like, I love you. It's going to be okay. Like, it's going to work out. And I'm like, don't say these things if you don't mean them. Like, I'm broken. He's like, no, I mean them. I just, like, and so I was like, maybe, like, he does love me still,
Girl, bye.
And I was a little hopeful. He had left that day, and that evening, he would stay in George's room most of the time, honestly. He'd sleep in there almost daily. But that night, I was just on my phone in bed, and I came across his Instagram, and I was like, well, he has no pictures on here. He deleted every picture of him and I, and he posted something on his story along the lines of like, who wants to go on a date or something, and I had felt like my soul leave my body. You know that TikTok, and it's like, Popeye's biscuit. Like, I felt that, like, felt like my soul leave my body. I cried, but it was so weird. I cried for maybe 30 seconds. And up at that point, it had been so many things like that every single day. Him leading me on, and like loving me, leading me on. And that was like the final straw. I knew in my heart that was it. It was like something came over me and said, okay, you cried, whoop, and I realized, okay,
it's over.
It's time to get out of this.
Yeah, it's over.
But also a narcissistic tactic is normal people, you and I, don't desire to hurt other people. If you see that you've hurt someone that you care about, you're empathetic with them, you feel bad, you do things to undo that. Whereas narcissists, they actually like get off on it. Yeah. They like to see the control that they have over your emotions.
It's scary.
Once he saw like how upset I was, he was like, okay, I'm gonna like love you, it's gonna be fine. And then like to do something like that without any words in between is very like, let me see what kind of like reaction I can get.
Exactly.
Now, like, let me see what happens, like what kind of control I can have over this. I felt very evil to me to lead me on in that way. That was the end of our relationship. At the time we weren't really filming on YouTube. That was because of him. He didn't want to film. So once he decided he didn't want to be with me anymore, he was like, I'm gonna film. We were in contract for our YouTube channel, so he was like, I'm gonna film. Never did. And at the time, we shared a YouTube channel, and that YouTube channel, after our channel got hacked, or maybe a year back now,
LNS.
It was never the same. It ruined so many things. So our channel maybe covered our rent at the time. He was like, basically, you're on your own, like, figure it out. He was not contributing financially in any way. The YouTube was the only thing that he was contributing financially to.
The fact that the L was first was a problem. LNS,
the other half the rent,
I mean SNL,
all of our cars, his McLaren,
like
all of our employees, and funding businesses that we both invested to separately. Our monthly expenses were about $50,000. I was covering all the expenses on my own. You know, the least you can do is contribute to like YouTube, because like that's the only way you're contributing financially. You should be helping any way you can. So once those situations happened, I said, listen, you need to like really start figuring out a way to make money, because the checks that come for me, I'm going to be moving them to a separate account. So we broke up. I said, you know what? I need to protect myself and my assets. It's my money. You need to start making your own money. And he's like, okay, I'm going to make my own money. I'm making my own money. He just never did. He never brought in any money. So like, you know, a month goes by, maybe longer, still not bringing anything, wasn't filming, gave that up, and was like, no, I'm not doing YouTube anymore, I'm done, like, you're on your own. I wasn't expecting
you want to be
Austin. Have to take it over like that. Later on, he ended up asking for the channel back. His mother ended up asking for the channel back. He's not making any money. I say, like, this is not okay, you need to make money. He says, okay, how about I'm going to keep trying to make money, but I'm also going to, like, I'll just pay you back. So that's how the loan came about. During our relationship, I'm not being petty, funny, I was the breadwinner. I always made more money than him, but I never looked at it as my money. Like I said, like, it was for a team effort. He said that he was going to continue to try to make money, but he would pay me back after his fight. When he got paid from that, then he would pay me. I didn't like the idea, but I was like, this is my daughter's father. Don't let your hurt make you act out. Make sure he's good so that your daughter can be good when she's with him. And that's what I moved with. So I said, okay, I guess. Then things started really escalating. It started getting really volatile between us. And I was like, I need my money and I need to go. He said, okay, I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to take out a loan. I'm going to take out a loan, pay you back. We can like go on our way. I really needed the money at the time because I had invested into companies, which I owed another half on. I needed a place to live. I wanted to buy a home so I could just breathe for a little bit and not have to focus on all this. I knew I wasn't going to jump back into it. I was hurt. I knew that's not what was going to happen for me. And I was restarting my life. I needed my money that I earned. I have some texts, like me following up, like, did you go see about the loan yet? Did you go see about the loan yet? Did you go see about the loan yet? He had never actually gone. Time he's planning to go to Miami still. One day his mother calls me while I'm in the car and says, Soul, she's coming with us to Miami for like 7 days, right? I'm booking the tickets. And the initial agreement months ago before things got really bad that Landon and I had was that I would go with Soul, even though we weren't together, because obviously I'm not going to let my child be all the way out there with her mother. Even though I was like hurt, I was trying to do his best for my daughter, and he wanted her there for that experience. So I was just going to go so that she could be a part of that experience for him. But things started getting really bad, and so they had like canceled me off the trip without saying anything to me. And she said, well, just Soul's going. Like, I have a ticket just for Soul. And I thought that was really like strange. My intuition was like going crazy. And I said, you know what, Nicole, her dad and I are still like trying to figure that out. We'll let you know when we come to like an agreement. And she was like, well, that's not going to work. I need to know right now. And I'm like, well, I don't know right now. Respectfully, it's our decision as her parents, so I'll have to let you know. She had hung up on me, so I went inside the house. As I was going upstairs in the room, I had heard Landon on the phone, so I got quiet. I went in there, and he was ushering me for me to leave, go, but I could hear whoever's on the phone was like yelling. So I said, no, I'm not going, and I realized the voice was his mom. He had it to his ear, and I could hear her screaming, and she was saying, I don't care if she doesn't like it, we're going to take her anyways with us. And my heart dropped. I realized they were talking about my daughter, taking her to Miami. And I said, Nicole, I can hear you. How dare you? I can hear you. And Landon quickly hung up the phone. He said, that's not what you heard. Like, that's not true. You're crazy. You didn't hear that. I know exactly what the heck I had heard. And that's where it really started getting bad. And my like mom radar was going off crazy. Like, oh my God, they're trying to take my baby. Like, I just heard that. So the very next day was my niece's birthday party. At the time, Landon and I weren't sleeping in the same room. I was going to go to my niece's birthday party with my daughter. I kept her clothes in the guest room, so I went to the guest room where Landon was sleeping, and his phone was on the nightstand. By that time, he had already changed his password. I heard his phone like ding.
Not change his password. I'm done.
And I looked over, and it was his mother. The day after, I heard her plotting on taking my child. The intuition was going crazy, and I thought, they never, ever text. They They always call, they always FaceTime, like, something is wrong, like something is wrong. And I couldn't shake that feeling the entire day. It was gone the entire day. When I got back home from the birthday party, eventually he got home, the baby was taking a nap. At the time I had a broken foot, so I was in a boot. And I had him unlocked his phone, and I had taken it and I locked myself in the car, in the driveway, because I was thinking, where can I go that he can't like hurt me? Like I can't, there's no way I could fight him off, like I have a broken foot. I was like, the door, him and Joe could like break the door down, that's not safe. At that time, Joe had already shown that he wasn't loyal to me. And we had met Joe mutually, so I felt like he owed me loyalty. And since we're on the topic, like I really did love Joe and I really did care about him, and I would make sure he was good, no matter what.
Some shit that don't even make any fucking sense. If we really had some receipts, bro, oh my God, bro. There's so much footage that she didn't show because she knew how she'd look. Tell me I'm wrong, bro.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
Like I would double his checks holidays to make sure like his family got nice stuff and he could like still chill. He didn't pay any bills. I set up his business for him. I would respond to his business emails for him, like out of love. I just really cared for him like a brother, but also like a child to me.
Y'all just was so bored that y'all happy as fuck this shit came about. But honestly, on God, bro.
First off, she would never treat us like that. She
Bro.
treated like shit.
Bro, and everything I know and love.
We gotta just wait. We gotta just wait.
Everything, all I know is, bro.
First off, she would never treat us like that. She
Bro.
treated like shit.
These two low life.
Anyways, but he had already proved he wasn't loyal to me at that point, so I didn't trust him either. So I went in the car. I locked myself in the car, and I went to the messages with his mother, and Landon's like banging on the window, like, "You're crazy! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like shaking. I'm like, okay, read like. And I went, and his mother was sending him exact amounts of what was in my account. They had went through my personal information, and she was logged into my personal business.
I believe it.
Accounts.
I believe it.
Which is
Especially
extremely illegal,
her.
by the way. They were plotting on how to take my money, and my like heart dropped. I'm like, oh my God, they're trying to take like my child,
Yeah.
my money, like
Everything.
the rest of the money I've left. Like I'm like, oh my God, like what the hell am I gonna do? Like I was like, what is this, Landon? Like what is this? He was like, she's gonna be like paying you the loan back. That's why she's gonna be the one that's gonna pay the loan. I said, okay, and I called her on the phone, on his phone in the car, and I said, are you gonna be the one paying me the loan back? She said, I'm not paying you a damn thing. I said, okay. So it's exactly what it looks like. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe they were conspiring like so deeply against me. I was shaking. Not that it was relevant because technically we weren't together, but he had messaged every girl in like a 50-mile radius.
What?
I'd seen it, and it just added to the fact that he was like, it's not about girls. I'm not talking to girls at all. It's not about that at all for me. I'm just focused on myself. It was like
Period.
the last
Wait, go
thing
back.
that I had conspiring like so deeply against me. I was shaking. Not that it was relevant because technically we weren't together, but he had messaged every girl in like a 50-mile radius. I'd seen it, and it just added to the fact that he was like, it's not about girls. I'm not talking to girls at all. It's not about that at all for me. I'm just focused on myself. It was like the last thing that I hadn't proved. He lied about every single thing, and that was like the last thing that I had confirmation. Also, like it did hurt. I'm not gonna lie, it did hurt. What hurt the most was that he didn't wish me Happy Mother's Day, but he was in girls' messages wishing them Happy Mother's Day.
Right.
Ow, that hurt. That one got me a little deep. Back to the same day, he had woken Soul up from her nap and brought her out because I still had his phone and he wanted his phone. And he said, look what you're doing to her, and try to put her in the middle. Threw his phone through the crack, and he handed Soul off to Joe. And then it was like, you're crazy, like just gaslighting.
You seriously need help.
You need help.
No,
you're such a liar. You're trying to manipulate me. On the messages! I literally have to record this because I don't believe you. I saw your mom going through my bank information.
And I was hysterical. I felt so betrayed and like so hurt. I had the gate open because, if you guys remember, I said I was like prepared to like leave if they tried to like break the window. Out of the corner of my eye, I I saw Joe walk with Soul onto the street, leave the front yard and go onto the sidewalk. Instantly, I was like, no, because, you know, the day before, I heard that conversation with his mother. So I'm like, keep my baby in my vision all times. And so I went over there and I said, Joe, give me Soul, give me my daughter. And he like motioned and like turned his back to me and kept going. I have a broken foot. I'm like, a broken foot. I'm a little slower. So I'm like, Joe, give me my daughter. And I'm trying, like, my hardest not to, like, you know, panic, but I could feel my, like, panic level starting to rise. I'm like, Joe, give me my baby. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Give me my baby. And then I see him, he's turning the corner towards where his car is parked. And then I really started panicking. And in my head, I'm like, he's gonna take my baby. Like, he's gonna take my baby. Like, where is she gonna go? And I hear Landon at the same time, like, yeah, Joe, go. Don't stop, Joe, go. And I'm like, oh my God, like, and I'm like, Joe, bring her back. And he's like, I'll put my hands on you before I give her back. And at that moment, I was like, I can, like, feel myself back in that situation. And, like, as a mother, the helplessness that I felt in that situation, like, where is he going to take her? There's no car seat in there. Like,
Right.
is he gonna just drive off with my baby? Like, how am I can't fight him off. Like, how am I gonna get my baby? Have you ever lost your kid for a split second? It's like that, but times a million. At that point, once he said that, I knew he was serious. I could see it in his eyes. And I started trying to reason with him, and I said, Joe, like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you doing this to me? Like I loved you. Like, I never did anything bad to you. Like, I was always there for you. Like, why are you doing this to me? I was like, what can I do? And I was like, you know, I said, I'm calling the police, but my phone was in the car. Ran as fast as I could to the car, and I called 911. I called 911 and I said, like, they're kidnapping my baby. Like, please help me. Like, and I ran back as fast as I could to Joe, and I gave a description of what he was wearing, and I put it on speaker so that he would know I was really calling 911. And I said, you know, like, I gave a description, and Landon had gone inside the house, and I ran inside to find him and see what he was wearing, because I asked for a description of him as well and what he was wearing. The dispatcher told me that if there was no custody agreement or emergency protection on the child, that it couldn't come. And my heart, like, dropped. And I'd taken off speaker by that point, so it was only me who had heard the dispatcher say that. Trying to think as quick as I could, I acted like I was still on the phone. And I said, Joe, if you just bring her back, I'll tell them not to come and I'll hang up right now. I told Landon, like, if you just tell him to just come back with her, bring her back to me, and I will hang up and they will not come. And then it says, okay, Joe, bring her back. And look, I thank God that worked, because, like, I think that works. That was literally like my last resort for these two people to terrorize me and then act like that didn't happen. Joseph, in his declaration, admits the situation never happened. Why is there a 911 call? I subpoenaed the 911 call. I don't know if I'll get it. Thank God that there was a record of that. Immediately after that, Joe had called my mom while he had someone said, "Try to call the police on me." Like, I don't know why, like, she's crazy, like, tell her to hang up. And my mom knew, like, that's not me, and my mom didn't say shit, and she just pulled up at my house. So I'm getting Soul back, I'm, like, hysterical, I'm in the front yard, my mom's like, what is going on? And I'm trying to explain to her what happened, and she goes inside, and I'm walking inside. Dr. Joe is following me inside. He goes, Shyla, I'm so sorry. He's crying hysterically, and he said, I effed up, I'm so sorry, Shyla, like, on my daughter, like, right hand to God, this is the they will never admit this, though.
Right.
He is hysterically crying, saying, I'm so sorry, I effed up, I'm so sorry, you were like a sister to me, you did everything for me, I'm so sorry. Then Landon said, Joe, like, get in here. And he got up, didn't even wipe his tears, and I said, he's not sorry. No way is he sorry. Unfortunately, that night, I knew what the dispatcher had said. They didn't know that, but I knew that I had to let her go. He wanted to take her to his dad's house, and I knew legally I had to let him. I had my mom tell him, like, you need to bring her back by 9 o'clock tonight. Nothing around it. You need to bring her back by 9 o'clock tonight, or, like, we're going to call the police again. You know, just bluffing, because technically there's nothing the police could do at that moment.
I'm trying to leave. Like, you can call me crazy, you can call me, I'm choked up right now, dude. I just went through the worst thing in my life. Like, I could not trust you. I want to be with our daughter. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm scared you're gonna take her and like try to keep her there and try to say like I'm crazy. Like, I'm terrified of that. Like, I don't want you to take my daughter. Like, she is literally all I have. Like, yeah, trust me. Yes, you and your mom is the biggest thing right now. Like, I have learned. I don't know what you guys are trying to do, and I don't trust it. You betrayed me. Like, you are getting this. I'm not ready to even like heal from that. Like, I just wish you wouldn't do this you do. Like, I want to trust you as her dad.
One of the worst days of my life, easily. After that, I was like, I am not safe. My daughter is not safe. Like, I need this money and I need to go. Like, I need to go. I approached him in the office. He was playing video games. And I said, like, hey, you need to take out a loan today. Like, I need to leave. I can't be here anymore. Like, I'm still not fully comfortable talking about any of the physical abuse because one, it takes me right back to that moment. Right. I don't deserve to like keep reliving those. I had to relive them for like testimony from my attorneys, for court documents. Right. Like, I don't deserve to keep like living in talking about it all the time. I'm gonna kind of skip past those. But long story short, he assaulted me. In his statement, he claims that I attacked him. I still have a broken foot, mind you. I'm in a boot. Claims that I slapped him, punched him. At the time I had long nails. I'll include a picture of my nails at the time. If I was slapping you repeatedly, we asked him, did you have any scratch marks? If I had long nails and I'm slapping you, you should have scratch marks. He said, no, I didn't have any scratch marks. So my attorney asked him, okay, so what about when she punched you? And he goes, oh, she didn't punch me. It's in his official declaration. It just said that I punched you. So after he assaulted me for the last time, well, physically assaulted me for the last time, I was like, F this. When I was starting to really stand up for myself is when it got bad. I'm not gonna do this. Like, you hurt me when it was just me and you, and I took it and I didn't know any better, but now I know, and I'm not gonna do this anymore. That situation happened. I was like, F this money, like, I'm just gonna handle it legally. I'm gonna get out of here. So fast forward, his mother calls my mom and says this whole story of how she cares for me, and you know, she didn't say that, and she wants to pay me back the loan so that I can be good and make sure I'm taken care of, and blah 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 blah. And she just wants to know if I can pull all the, you know, receipts basically for this. My mom's like, Shyla, you like, I know you want to just say like F it, but like, think about your daughter. You have obligations. You need to get your money and like move on from this. There was like a meeting scheduled for the next morning at the house that we were gonna all meet there, and I had spent the entire night gathering every single account that we've had together, both independently together, every single credit card, every single transaction. I even highlighted what he spent, what I spent, our business expenses, our joint expenses, and I like coordinated it, so it was really easy. It took me a really long time. There's no confusion about what was owed, what was not owed. So the meeting day comes, we all sit down there, and I apologized to her. I had called her out of her name with that phone call, when she's like, you're not getting anything. And I was like, you stupid. And I admitted to that. I said that. I apologized because just thinking about it, I thought there's no way like she could possibly know the facts and treat me like this. Like, there's no way. Like, she must just not know like what truly happened. She must just not know that he has no money. Like, she must just not know. Like, why would she do that? It doesn't make sense to me. So I said, I'm so sorry for talking to you like that. You must just not know. Like, that makes sense, right? Because if you don't know, if you're uneducated, then you're gonna act like that. So I'm like, when she knows all the facts, then she's gonna be like on the same page. And I made all the grandmother's diamond necklaces that said sold for Mother's Day. I hadn't given hers yet, and I said, here's your necklace. Like, I just want to get this taken care of, and I want to like move on, you know. And I'm really sorry that I said that, because I just was assuming that you knew what was going on, and you probably didn't. And she was like, oh, thank you, and took the necklace. Turns out she knew exactly what was going on. We sat down. She didn't even look at the paperwork that I pulled. None of it. Landon sat there next to her. She said, don't you think he deserves to leave with something?
What do you think about it? People should lift each other up, not bring them down. You're a jokester. That's a joke. Hello? We are ethnic. It's funny. You say funny stuff.
If he was owed something, yes. I said, he agreed to pay me back all the money he owed me. Did you get him to write it in contract?
Right,
Is there a
verbal
contract?
agreements.
No, then you're not getting any of it back.
Hey.
And don't bother consulting a lawyer because I already talked to one. You're not getting any of it back. So cold and calculated.
Girl.
And she goes, as far as the YouTube channel, Landon won't step back. It's like, I never took it. Like, okay.
It's sad that I had to come over to my mom's house and prove that I'm black and prove that I'm not racist. I always your guys' black card. Yeah, you are my mom. you did.
I felt the tears flowing, and I was like, you are an evil person.
Oh, yeah.
My mom had talked to Landon so many times about this, and he was sitting there, and she goes, Landon, you're really gonna lie when I'm sitting right here? I had these conversations with you, and I'll never forget, like, this image. Whenever I think about him, I see the same image of him in my head. I see in that moment he was sitting next to her with his arms crossed, like leaning back, like he knew this was gonna happen. And he's smiling, and he's like, yep.
Yeah, my brother, he looks white on the outside, black, you know? Yeah. And I guess that's just what it stems from, I guess. Like, they don't see me as black, so.
And he's smiling, looking at me like this, knowing they had just completely tried to fuck me over. I had been busting my ass, paying for everything his entire career for months. Under the guise that he was gonna pay me back, he was gonna pay me back. He was smiling, and he thought it was funny. He thought I could see just like the evilness in his eyes. He thought this was a game, like. And it triggers me so much when I hear his voice, when I see his face, because that's all I can think about. That's the only image that I can associate with him. I can see the evil and the anger and the resentment for me in his face. It didn't even look like human. And I thought, like, game over. Like, and I just went to my car and I was crying, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I called my attorney and I said, can you come over in an hour? Like, I need to figure some stuff out. And I forgot to mention during the conversation, he goes, what do you want to do with the Range Rover? And I said, you know what? Just paid for the McLaren and the Range Rover the day before. I said, this is before she said, I'm not paying you anything back. She said, what do you want to do with the Range Rover? And I said, she said, you can keep it. Like, and I said, honestly, I don't feel comfortable keeping it because I don't want something that someone can just take away from me. She did co-sign. In order to get, that was like a $200,000 car. In order to get a luxury car, you need a co-sign who also has a luxury car. I don't know if that's just what it is. She's also co-signed for his brother's cars. She's co-signed for everybody. So it wasn't like abnormal. My payments, I paid my insurance in full for the year. It was like $20,000. Like, didn't think anything of it. I just felt like their true colors had showed, and I said, like, I just paid for it yesterday, so I'd rather have it for the next 30 days until I can get my own. And then Landon can have it, and that can be his car for sole. And he's like, I don't want it. But I'm like, it's under your mom's name.
Right.
You can have it. After the whole incident, I went to my car, hysterical, and then my, like, fight or flight kicked in, and I'm like, okay, they just took all my money.
Yep.
Is my child gonna be next? We loaded her up in the car, and we drove around, like, panicking, like, where am I gonna take my kid? Like, trying to figure it out. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Just crying. No one will believe me.
They sure won't. Because Ace Family.
We're sitting parked right now in the car because I'm fearful to go home. I believe they're trying to kidnap my daughter, proof of them gaslighting, trying to tell the whole world I'm crazy and trying to convince other people. They've stolen. Landon and his mom have stolen, and I'm literally out here in my house. She was like, I just left with her. Like, I'm terrified they're gonna take my baby, and I'm not crazy.
That's when I took this picture. For months, I'd been bullied relentlessly for, like, my vibe being off or acting like I was being abused, like I was being manipulated, like trying to hold back the floodgates because I didn't want my abusers to suffer because I loved them. I felt like so beaten up by the world. Imagine going through the worst time in your life and trying to be private about it and getting bullied for that. And just felt like broken, like I had nothing else to hide. I don't care, see me broken. And I posted this picture, and Soul was in the back in the car seat. I drove kind of up on a hill where I could see my house, where I could see when they were gonna leave, because I was like, I don't have a diaper for this girl. I don't even have shoes on. I saw Landon take the McLaren. I saw Joseph take the Jeep. And I saw Nicole in her car. And I waited a little bit and I went home and I called my brother and he came over and I was like, I need you to help me pack my shit up. Like, I'm leaving today. Like, I was trying to stay around. They were trying to keep me around. Like, oh, we're going to pay you back. It never happened. Like, I gotta go. It's getting really dangerous. I need to go. And my mom was there and I said, Mom, I just have a feeling. Please take Soul with you home and I'll come get her later. But I need to get my shit out of here. And that was one of the best decisions I made. Not an hour later, police showed up outside my house. His mother was out there. He was out there on the phone with my attorney. And my brother was here. I think I have a video. I might include a video. And my attorney said, go send your brother out there and see what they want. And I texted them, like, your access, my attorney had me reach out to them, your access has been revoked to the house if you're not on the lease. Only Landon was on the lease. So I was like, you guys are not to come in this house, which is my right. So my brother goes out there and he says, oh, she's taking the Range Rover back. And I'm like, of course she is. So my attorney's like, just give her the keys, like, we can get it back in court, not a big deal.
Right.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I don't care. I have my kid, I don't give a shit. He goes and gives him the keys.
Hey, keys? And Land needs to get his stuff, so I'm going to wait for the police.
What, did she say anything?
She said there's 2 keys.
No, there's not 2 keys.
She said Landon still needs to get his stuff, so they're waiting for the police. They're trying to play it all over. So
Yes, okay, let me just go out here and talk to them. Can you just report, because I just don't trust them.
There was never 3 sets of keys. Landon still legally lives here. He has every right to come get his stuff. He can come get his stuff. That's no problem. But you cannot enter unaccompanied, and he cannot enter unaccompanied. But if Landon wants to go get his stuff, no. He can come get his stuff.
I think they just want to make a show. I'll go get it. Then it comes up, they had called a police escort and they had said, like, I was violent and crazy and trying to play the game. He had brought all his friends to, like, help
my
him get
tea
his
is
stuff.
cold.
I said, okay. I thought it was very, like, his mother was outside standing with my Range Rover, like, smiling.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're evil.
Disgusting.
Like, you're so evil.
You can see it when you see her, though. You can feel it.
It was a game to them. Like,
how
bad could they hurt me? I remember seeing they took Soul's car seat out of the car and they just left it, like, in the front yard, like, no regard, like,
hey,
you took everything there and didn't even think about taking Soul, didn't think about her one time, and it's like, how was I going to get her around? She had a pediatrician's appointment that week. They took all the cars, all 3 cars, and they left me there, like, stranded, which is evil. And he had his friends packing his things up, and I hadn't talked to Joseph since, you know, he apologized to me, and he was out there, like, flipping me off, and they were laughing and, like, pointing at me, and it was a game to them. And how could you guys, like, his friend Rob was there doing the same thing. He called me a B word in front of Landon. I'm like, how man are you that you need your friends to come in here and, like, berate me and, like, degrade me? Like, it's not even his situation. I had to let Rob live with us. I'm the one who buys his birthday gifts. Like, I've been good to him as well, so I just thought it was very, like, disrespectful that he let his friends talk to me like that. I was like, hey, they have no respect for me. And they took the dog. Like, didn't ask about the child, but took the dog. One of the cars is completely paid off and it's in my name, and Joe took it. And I said, Joe, bring the car back now or I'm calling the police. It's fully in my name. Bring it back or I'm calling the police. How was I going to move all these boxes? My brother has, like, a coupe. Eventually they just, like, dropped it off and then they left again. My attorney came over and he said, does he have any weapons? Yeah, he has 2 guns. Like, he's like, do you know where they're kept? And I said, yeah. He said, go upstairs and check. And I went upstairs and there were no guns. And my heart dropped. Why would you come and get, like, your clothes and your guns? Like, I don't understand. One was registered and one was unregistered. That started a big, like, panic for me. Like I said, I need to get a restraining order. Spent the night at my mother's house, met Soul over there, and I spent the night with my mom. The next morning, I had to go back to the house to meet, to meet where the incidents happened. And the police searched the house for me because I was terrified. Like, I didn't want to go in there. I brought my, I missed a step. So the next morning, Lynn's dad had reached out to me and, I didn't mention, but he had came over when I was packing my shit and was like, what's going on? And I told him the situation, and he said, Shyla, I'm gonna have him pay you back everything he owes you. Like, Nicole needs to stay out of it. Like, this is not her place. Like, I love you. You can come stay at my house. It was all BS, but we had had that conversation. So, the next day, his dad texted me and said, oh, Landon wants to get some stuff out of the house. What's a good time to come? And I told his dad, like, don't tell him, but I'm gonna be there at, like, noon, so can you have him come, like, either way before or way, like, later? I don't want to, like, run into him. I had my male cousin, my only male cousin, and I called him and I said, can you come with me? And he said, I'm wrapping something up and go. I think we were supposed to go at, like, 2 or something. I can't remember exactly, and he said, it's going to be a little later because I'm like doing this. And I said, okay, no worries. Landon had texted me at like 1:54, the time I was supposed to be there, and he had said, oh, I came and I took the stroller, like, so you can't have it, or something like that. It really frightened me that he knew I was going to be there. He thought I was going to be there alone. And he had came and went there and like waited for me to be there, but I wasn't there, so he wanted to let me know he was there, and then he made it seem like it was about a stroller. Why would you take the stroller when you don't have the child? That really scared me. Thank God my cousin like went with me and had something to do.
Girl!
So I ended up going back to the house. The police granted me, and I showed them my injuries. They granted me an emergency restraining order and emergency protective order over our daughter. Despite what he said, it's not easy to get a restraining order. Everyone would have one. It's
right. I've been there. You're right.
Father years ago, and I wasn't able to. Since I'm on that topic, I guess I will make a note of that. Don't speak to my father for obvious reasons. He has severe mental illness and severe substance abuse issues. I haven't spoken a single word to him in like 4 or 5 years, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Back to my story. In our statements on why we think we should have restraining orders, I said like the guns. These guns are out there. Like they're doing like little things to antagonize me and like scare me. I believe. I was terrified. I was still staying in that home because I didn't have anywhere to go. Trying to find a home. I couldn't even find a rental. I was applying for rentals. I didn't have a car. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get a car. The car that I had was not safe to drive on the freeway. We had never put a soul in there for that reason. And so I was still staying in that house. They were trying to manipulate me and scare me behind the scenes. After they were bashing me all online, like I would have to call security when I was gone, like after a long day. If I knew I was coming home at night, I would call him to meet me at my house. He would look like and clear the whole house and look under every bed, and I was like, why do I have to live like this? Like barricade. I would barricade the door of the room that Soul and I would sleep in. I would have one dog sleep with me, one dog sleep outside the room, and Soul falls asleep with the noise machine. I was so paranoid that I wouldn't be able to hear it if like someone was outside or someone was trying to break in, so I would stay up. Like I did not sleep. And I would have a knife next to the bed. Like I was terrified. Like, no one should have to live like that. I remember one time the dogs were barking crazy, and I was too scared to go out there. And the next morning I went out there just to check the mail, and I'd seen Banana's monkey mask, which is his brother's brand, on my driveway. I never owned that brand. It was out there yesterday. It was not there. They leave it on purpose. I don't know. Did they drop it? I don't know. Another incident is I heard the dogs barking crazy, and I opened the door, and it was 3 men attempting to steal pickles. I screamed at them, and they left, and I was too scared to report it because so many bad things were happening, and I was meeting law enforcement so often that I didn't want to like oversaturate it and have them like doubt me because I was calling them more, if that makes sense. My anxiety, like I was scared. I would beg people to come to sleep over so I just wouldn't be alone. And he has this unregistered gun. He's denying it, and I was getting so anxious. I was like, how can I prove he has another gun? Like, I felt hopeless. You know, it's my word against his. I was packing up all of my things. I found 2 gun cases that he had left behind. It's like, okay, that's some evidence. Like, the judge is going to believe me because why do you have 2 gun cases if you have 1 gun? Not enough evidence. This is how it is to get a restraining order as well. You need sufficient evidence.
Right.
Like, I want everyone to understand this. I found a picture of 2 different types of bullets with Landon's like arm in the back. He was standing like in back of it. Look, he has 2 different types of bullets, 2 different types of gun cases. Like the court has to believe that he has 2 guns. Like he's lying about this. My attorney asked him to submit it's called a DV 800 paperwork, and it's you declare under penalty of perjury. I have never owned or possessed another weapon, and he signed that. He said, I've never owned or possessed another weapon. Once we submitted those photos, they submitted another one saying, oh, I changed my mind. I just forgot that I owned it, and then I got rid of it. Why are you lying and hiding this gun if you have good intentions? Lied under penalty of perjury multiple times. He said he only borrowed the gun for like 2 weeks. He never owned it, which is not true. And I'm thinking like, how can I prove?
Right.
My friend had her phone.
Document everything.
And I bought Landon a new phone like around his birthday. He said, oh, just give her this phone, like my old phone, and the screen was broke, so I fixed the screen, and she ended up getting a new phone, so I just packed it away and I didn't think about it again.
My lip gloss dry already.
I know he sent pictures of the guns to people, and it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, I need to find that I found the gun he'd given to me. The grace of God, I found a picture he had taken of both guns side by side with the date, dated like 9 months past when he said he had got rid of it. You can't deny that. You can't deny that you own 2 guns. I've requested for supervised visitation because I want her to see her father. I know she doesn't understand, and she just knows that's her dad and she loves him. I can't make her understand that. It's not my place to make her understand.
Right.
She will see all of that in due time. Maybe he will grow up and like change and own up and be a better person, because I never wanted to have this type of relationship. I wanted so badly to have a good co-parenting relationship more than anything. I wanted to both be at her gymnastics. Unfortunately, he didn't care. He thought he was gonna just like abuse me, use me, hurt me, and then he thought he had his big break. He thought, like, F you, you're on your own, figure it out, I'm gonna take all your money, I'm gonna be a star, I'm never doing YouTube again. And unfortunately, none of that happened for him. And I say unfortunately because I don't wish that on him. I know that probably hurts. You left everything, your family, your relationship, everything, thinking you were gaining everything, and in the end you got nothing. You have to see your daughter monitor visitation because of your own decisions. And that hurts her. I feel bad for her more than anyone. Even for her visitation, to manipulate me still. His mother texted me not that long ago and said, like, I love you. You'll see when this is over. Like, don't try to manipulate me. Nothing you all have done as a whole, the entire family, could have possibly been out of love. Not one of you. Every single one of you were conspiring to hurt me. Every single one of them. Do not text me. And I sent her a cease and desist. Do not contact me. Our first visitation, they make it so you don't arrive at the same time, so you never run into each other. Who pulls up directly behind me? His mother. Like, they tried to intimidate me. I took a picture. Not to mention that now that he's trying to look like this image on social media, that he would be buying stuff for our daughter to at least look like a good father and play that like internet dad role. Hasn't. The visitation center asked me, would it be fine if he brought gifts? And I thought they were asking that because you had gifts you want to give her. And I said, yeah, that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna let my like hurt stop her like receiving things from her dad. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
And that's how you know you're a good person.
Bought one thing for her, not a diaper, not a snack, not a clothing, not shoes, nothing. We switched visitation facilities. They are asking me to stop packing her lunch. I make her breakfast, I pack her lunch, I pack all her snacks. I obviously provide, dress her, pack extra clothes, toys, do it all. And they asked me to not do that anymore. They're like, we want to make him be a dad. And I'm just like, I don't want him to be a dad because someone mandated it. He wanted to, he would have. Chooses not to, and that's fine. She needs for nothing. Literally, he doesn't even know her shoe sizes, her diaper. In his declaration, he was asked what her diaper size was. He got it wrong. He didn't know. He actually told me, basically, if you want more help, you need to get a nanny. I actually didn't want a nanny. I thought we should be able to take care of our daughter on our own. Any extra help was nice, but not required.
Period. Yikes. Okay, so she put this in really, really quick, but obviously I'm editing, so I'm able to pause it and read it. And the way this girl really just dragged Austin and Catherine. Stop. You are not Austin, and I am not Catherine. I did not have a child with you just to hire someone to take your place.
Joseph has never once babysat her. Landon was not even comfortable with him taking her on a walk, like up the street in a stroller. He's definitely never bathed her. Ever. Never changed her diaper. Everything's so for attention, and I don't want that kind of attention. Even down to the engagement ring you guys saw floating around. Here's the agreement for that. And here's my receipt.
Girl.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I had to fight. I had to fight with everything I had. I do not want to do this anymore. I've rebuilt my life as I know it. And I was staying at my friend's house, like, and I used to wake up and I used to think, like, this is really my life. And I used to cry, and I used to feel so bad that, like, my daughter was going through this, and I used to just feel so bad. And now I wake up and I'm like, this is really my life. Like, that's the difference. Career-wise, I'm doing well. healing, if I had to give one piece of advice to anyone trying to heal, is don't run from it. I give myself credit for that because I didn't run from it. I sat with the grief. I sat with the pain. I felt every emotion. I didn't hold back tears. When I wanted to cry, I cried. And I felt everything. I didn't want to wake up. Like, I didn't want to feel this pain I was feeling. It gets like better. Sometimes I still cry. When something or someone is not for you, the universe, God, whoever, will hurt you so deep.
So deep.
To where the only option you have
Girl.
is letting go. I feel that spiritually. I was terrified to walk into the unknown and walk strictly on faith. I just want to end it with saying, believe women. Normalize practicing kindness before judgment.
Okay. Yikes. 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 Look, we are going to have a separate video of my commentary and thoughts of this video because I already know this is going to be a long video and I would rather have something separate so I can really dive deep in my thoughts. So if you're interested in that, don't forget to like and subscribe. That video will be up next. Other than that, I will see y'all all in my next one. Let me know what y'all think about my makeup. I honestly don't think it looks that great right now because I don't have any of my brushes, which I didn't realize until obviously I started filming. So we just gonna work with this and slap a filter on, whatever. It is what it is. Other than that, love you so much, and I will see y'all all in my next one because we about to film that right now. I got too much to say.
Pulling out the coupe in the lot, 12 for 12 for SWAT, busting all the bells out the box, hit the lick with the box.